Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We got a great interview and a demo of one of the coolest apps I have personally seen in the Salesforce Appexchange. Check it out. We have Janel with us, so maybe we can start with a brief intro. And Janel, you can introduce yourselves and the company and the app that you are coming to us with.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janel Romberg. I am the Calendar Anything App Exchange Manager here at Silverline. We have a complete Calendar Anything app that is a full Lightning Web component that is available on the App Exchange. And it really does calendar anything within Salesforce as it is a custom application that can visualize both custom and standard objects within Salesforce. So yeah, definitely excited to give you a little bit of a demo today and answer any questions you might have for me.
Can you talk about some of the common clients that you have? Is it usually sales, service, financial?
That is a great question. So since calendars are really a use case for any and every Salesforce org, we have industries from all over. One of our main ones recently has been education, but we really do anything and everything from resource allocation is a huge one. Project management is another huge use case we get a lot. And then just team event management, period. Being able to have shared calendars is by far the #1 use case, but within industries, it can vary depending on what you're doing. But the ability to have everything housed within Salesforce and be able to report off of it is huge.
And in Salesforce, we all love reporting capabilities. So perfect. Nice. What is the most common problem that you hear from customers when you're talking to them where Calendar Anything can help?
Absolutely being able to share calendars. So it's not double working yourself, because a lot of the time it's, hey, we're working in Outlook, but we don't have any way to get this information in Salesforce and then see it in a calendar that can then be shared. So that's the problem that Calendar Anything solves. Although we don't actually integrate from Outlook or Google into Salesforce, we take that information that's already in Salesforce and then put it into an easy to consume calendar view that you can easily manipulate data within.
Curious from your perspective, what is one of the most challenging things when it comes to essentially selling solutions to customers through the Appexchange and showing to them that like all this work that you guys have put together in an app is actually the best way to go?
It's a great question. I think the #1 thing that we have issues with, especially on the Appexchange, is you have such a small space to prove what you do. You have a few slides and a little bit of text on an Appexchange page to read to somebody about what you guys are doing. Really get on a demo and personalize it to really show what you can do. So what we found is, really trying to put out blog posts where you're talking about use cases and really then linking back to your Appexchange is a really good method, but just using your Appexchange page only is definitely a little bit harder than I think people realize, especially within the ISV ecosystem. This is what Calendar Anything looks like within a Salesforce org. And of course, something to preface about Calendar Anything. Calendar Anything only works on the Salesforce platform. It is a native application of Salesforce. And it, of course, can be purchased on the Salesforce Appexchange, but it doesn't work with any other platform, only the Salesforce platform. And it is simply a visualization tool of Salesforce. You can visualize any custom or standard object as long as a day or day time field is attached.
Some of these apps, especially with a lot of functionality like Calendar Anything, might seem very overwhelming for some admins. How, like, maybe you can touch on that and how the setup is, high level, what kind of support comes with getting Calendar Anything?
Absolutely, great question. So the great thing about Calendar Anything, especially our new Lightning Web component, is the fact that we've taken all the Salesforce jargon out of it. So I'm going to just hop into how you create a calendar real quick. You literally just go to edit, and this will take you straight to the calendar edit wizard. And from here, it's just a step. It's just steps to go
Awesome.
through. You give the calendar a name and a color, and we have, entire color wheel to choose from. And then from here, it's just defining how you want to see the data within Calendar Anything. So what object are you pointing to? What field are you pointing to? Anyone that has very minimal Salesforce knowledge will understand how you're pointing to different fields and how it's then visualizing on the calendar. Filter criteria works just like list views within Salesforce. You can add multiple and add filter logic. There's multiple ways to filter within calendar anything, and I'm definitely happy to hop into that as well. I'm sorry, you can also define what details you want to show on the calendar when you actually click in. So all of this is very simple setup, and this is literally what it takes. You go through each of these little steps. Sharing is very simple. You set up within Salesforce setup, choose users, put them into a public group, and then pull those public groups over to selected. Very simple to share calendars out within your organization. Conditional coloring is huge because you have multiple levels. If you want to do more than just one level of multi-conditional coloring, you can do up to 3. So if you want to do it by stage and type and all these different types of things, you can do that. So the Salesforce jargon isn't there. And as far as making it super easy for admins, you have, with the fact that we have a Lightning Web component, there's a lot more functionality opened up to us. We have these little info buttons so you can actually figure out what that little piece is for if you're confused as an admin or you're not quite sure. We also, as far as support piece, we have an entire website available to you at calendaranything.com. You can submit a case to us. You can log a case. You also have full knowledge articles as well. So if I go to this help center, you can search in our entire help center troubleshooting articles, feature setups, etc. We have our release notes for every single new release that comes out. So a plethora of information if you should get stuck as you start to test, for sure.
Maybe a stupid question. So I'm assuming the folks who should be creating these calendar setups should be admins, should not be allowed to have like anybody and everybody.
Not a dumb question. And actually, it depends on the organization and how they have their own management of their org. It also depends on the use case. If you have folks that want to maintain their own personal calendar, absolutely, you would want them to be able to create their own calendar by clicking on new calendar as an end user. If you as an admin say, no, I know my use case, I only want to create 5 calendars, this is who it's going to be for, and I'm going to share it and have total control, absolutely. But that's the versatility that Calendar Anything provides, is that you can shut it down and only have admins, or have it open to your entire company and be able to create their own calendars and share within their own teams. Yeah, so this is an opportunities calendar. It's built off of the opportunity close date. A few little things as far as features and functionality of Calendar Anything. If you want to quickly update the close date, you can just drag and drop. It'll automatically update. To see additional information, you have total control over what you see here and that setup of the calendar and that details pop-up piece. You can also chatter straight from Calendar Anything UI, add attachments.
There's a little pencil there. Allow you to just change the title, or
you can edit any of the records. So it's just like editing a record straight within Salesforce. You can also create new straight from Calendar Anything. And you can choose which calendar. So right now I'm on my, this is an internal meetings calendar. I'm on an opportunities calendar. I can create a new opportunity here as well.
So you can create the actual record right
exactly.
from there, brand new one. Wow.
Correct. Yeah. So this is another great thing to kind of pause on for Calendar Anything, is the fact that Calendar Anything is known to improve Salesforce adoption because everyone understands a calendar. And so if I can say, okay, new user, go in and create an opportunity from a calendar, just say, I want to make sure that this is closed by the 1st of July. Okay, this is, test opportunity. And you can go through, okay, we're in needs analysis stage. You can go through and choose every single piece, including next steps and, account ID, relating it to an account.
And this works, I think you might have mentioned it earlier, custom objects, custom fields.
Yes, custom object, custom fields, and that includes special clouds. So you're talking health cloud, financial services cloud, what's the big one? The one for resource allocation, field service lightning. It works with all of them.
Healthcare, probably a very big customer of Calendar Anything.
Healthcare is absolutely one of our biggest use cases. And of course, that is because we, as Silverline as a consultancy, specialize in healthcare and financial services. So financial services and banks and things like that, especially with pandemic, we realized that lobby management was a huge use case. making sure they were booking appointments and making sure that, you know, they didn't have too many folks inside of the lobby at any given time. So yeah, the use cases are really endless for calendar anything.
Curious, how has COVID maybe highlighted additional use cases where calendar anything could be very useful that maybe you didn't think of as much before?
So we actually have, and it wasn't because of COVID, but it became more of a prevalent accelerator, which was our RSVP accelerator, which allows folks to see a calendar anything version in a Lightning container on a force.com site. So they can see full functionality and then sign up for a particular time slot within RSVP. And of course, I'm happy to talk you through that accelerator. It's a different than it's separate from calendar anything, but that one, that piece of being able to self-schedule time for going back to work and that whole return to work use case was huge for calendar anything in RSVP. Exactly. And it also, another, you know, big thing about the RSVP Salesforce relationship is the fact that if, especially during COVID times when folks were coming in and signing up for, say, a COVID shot, we were able to say, hey, this person has never been to this practice before. Let's go ahead and put this contact information into a marketing cloud flow where we're going to send them all of our marketing content from here on out after they've gotten that initial COVID shot 1 and 2. Or COVID testing. It was the use cases were endless there as well, and how now they're able to have that retention of those new patients that they otherwise wouldn't have seen. So yeah, another great use case for calendar.
Calendar anything, solving real world problems out there.
That's right.
Nice.
For sure. So other things, of course, you can do besides just, you know, visualize opportunities, the fact that you can visualize more than just one thing on one calendar. So if I want to toggle on, especially with a grouped calendar, I have a marketing team calendar that cares about only certain things. So they care about opportunities, internal meetings, and campaigns. And maybe we throw this into a Gantt view so we can see what's happening over the long periods of time by day for the next 3 months. And then maybe we want to break it up by owner. So if I want to group by who owns each of these campaigns and tasks, there we go. Now it's grouped by owner ID. So I can see every campaign, internal meeting, and opportunity grouped by owner. So this is great also, especially for swim lane view, because you can resource allocate really easily here. And this allows you to drag and drop and say, okay, this marketing team meeting, I'm going to assign this now to somebody else. I'm going to assign it to Barbara. And now you can see the color coding has changed automatically. Now I can see that it's assigned to Barbara Taylor. And any of those workflow processes that are already set up within Salesforce are automatically now triggering. So now in our org, Barbara Taylor has just gotten an email saying, hey, look, the marketing team meeting has just now gotten assigned to you to run. Calendar anything allows you to slice and dice information like no other product I've ever seen, especially within Salesforce. So there's a few different ways to do it. You can put a hard filter on the actual calendar like I showed you before, just like list views. You also can use our search bar, which will allow you to just whittle down and say, okay, I only want to see things with Jessica in them. And it will just show me Jessica just by typing in her name. But if I want to say, okay, I want to see Jessica and I also want to see Barb, we can't put a comma and it work. So for that reason, we created filter sets, which allows you to see, I only want to see the Southeast team. It'll automatically whittle it down to those 3 people. I also want to
how does it know what's a Southeast team filter? This is a preset.
That's part of your filter panel you set up. And if I at any point completely forget who is out of my Southeast team, I can go into edit and it will show me Barbara, and Ben.
So you create a filter and save it for later use, essentially.
Absolutely. So if I say, hey, well, actually, we added somebody new, Diana's new, we're going to add her too, press save. Now it's going to add Diana. I don't have any new records for Diana, but if she did have new records, it would show here. And then you have your and or. So if I want to see the Southeast team or my marketing leadership, you'll see it now pulls in Jessica Jones and Yannick. But if I say I want to see and, it's going to take them all away. So the and or filter set is actually brand new since we have released this Lightning Web Component, and it's gotten rave reviews from our clients. Like I said, multiple ways to filter data, and those are the ways: search bar, filter sets, and filter panels, and a hard filter on your calendar.
Does each calendar, so like the filters that you're setting up, are they only visible to you, or can they be visible for the whole team that's using this calendar version?
Great question. I can create a new filter set by saying, okay, I want it to be only show the Acme and the CodeHow account. I can press save. First, you can press apply to whittle it down, and then you can press save. And now from here, you give it a name. So I'm just going to say test filter. The drop down allows you to set it either personal or global. So I can say, as an admin, I want to open this filter set up to everyone, or as a personal user, I want this only available to me. So you have both use cases available to you. The fact that you can embed it so easily is mind-blowing to me, and I love it. And so what we've done is we've created dynamically filtered calendars that are embedded on a home page, which it can be embedded on a home page, a layout, but in this case, it's embedded on a layout, where we are seeing every single opportunity related to a particular account. Awesome.
Do you guys, so one last question, I think, from my side. Do you have any connections into Outlook Outlook for Salesforce?
So we don't integrate with Outlook. We only visualize and live on top of the Salesforce platform. So if you want to get information from Outlook into Salesforce, from Gmail into Salesforce, yes, the lightning syncs and all of that will absolutely work on standard objects. If you want to do a custom solution, absolutely. As long as that information is housed within Salesforce, Calendar Anything can visualize it for you. Yeah.
This has been really cool. I really enjoyed watching the demo. So is there anything you can share about what might be coming down the pipe from Calendar Anything, or?
So many things. So since this is a brand new Lightning Web component that actually just launched on May 3rd, we have quite a bit in backlog of things that we want to come out with. Some of the things that we've already come out with are export to Excel and multi-level coloring. Things that are on the list are custom tabs. So as you saw, we had that chatter tab and the attachment tab. We're going to start making a custom tab where you can actually visualize addresses in a map form. So another great for resource allocation and service resource requests and things like that. And then Zoom integration is another thing that we're exploring as well. So we can easily not only have the internal sharing of meetings, but hey, let me pop on a Zoom link as well to this. So you really aren't having to go to Gmail anymore. It's all in Salesforce.
That's awesome. A year and a half ago, Zoom would not have been on your roadmap, I'm sure, but
correct.
The world has changed.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me and letting me showcase Calendar Anything. If any of you guys have questions, of course, reach out to us. You can go to calendaranything.com, or you're more than welcome to reach out to me. My name is Janel Bromberek, Janel Bromberek at silverlinecrm.com. And of course, find us on the Appexchange.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Janelle, for your time today. This has been great.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.